It is so damn hot right now, sweat is moisturizing my face. Welcome back everyone. If you're new here, I'm Amrit, and on this channel we talk about all things football, but in this video I'm going to do something a little different and we're going to talk about thermoregulation. Basically thermoregulation. So how does the process of thermoregulation work? So basically when there's a change in internal body temperature, signals will be sent to the central nervous system, and this central nervous system is comprised of the brain and the spinal cord. So basically when there's a change and the signals are sent to the system, this system will then send signals to the hypothalamus. The hypothalamus then will send hormones and signals to the organs that are related with thermoregulation. These organs include the sweat glands and also the muscles. So whenever there is excessive heat in the body, sweat glands will be activated and our blood vessels will start to vasodilate, which means they will increase in size so that the blood vessels can reach the skin and more heat can be lost from the skin. And also when our body sweats, that is a way of showing that we have too much of heat in the body and the body is trying to release that heat by allowing the sweat glands to release it. So when the temperature is cold, we usually would start shivering. And the reason why we shiver is because our muscles are trying to move and generate as much heat as possible to return our body to the normal temperature range. So whenever we are cold, not only do our muscles shiver, but also our blood vessels will start to vasoconstrict. And vasoconstrict basically means they become smaller and they move away from the skin so that they do not lose too much of heat to the environment. So this way our body tends to preserve the heat in us and maintain our core body temperature. So when it comes to temperature, there are two extremes in which our bodies can go to. One is hypothermia and the other one is hyperthermia. So let's start with hypothermia. Hypothermia is basically when the body temperature drops below 35 degrees Celsius and the body starts losing heat faster than it produces. So this causes the body to start shivering because the muscles are contracting and relaxing in a very fast pace to produce as much heat as possible to return the body to the normal temperature range. And also our blood vessels start to vasoconstrict as much as possible so that heat isn't lost to the environment. So in severe cases of hypothermia, people can undergo cardiac arrest, they can undergo brain damage or even death. This is why it's always advised that you wear a lot of layers of clothes to keep yourself as warm as possible, because once your body starts to fall out of the normal range that it functions in, the cells will stop functioning and you could start losing mobility of your limbs.
I can't move it anymore.
Now the second extreme is hyperthermia. So hyperthermia is basically when your body temperature rises 42 degrees Celsius and above, and this starts impairing your bodily functions as your cells could start to die because they are not used to working in an environment that is so hot. So hypothermia is associated with brain damage and death. So usually if you're undergoing hypothermia, you would start sweating profusely and your blood vessels will also vasodilate to allow as much heat as possible to leave into the environment. So this is why when the temperature of a baby's body tends to rise more than 38 degrees Celsius, we rush them to the hospital because their cells are not even fully grown yet and they cannot work outside of a normal environmental range. So your body has to function within this range and you have to make sure that you are hydrating yourself enough and not going out in the sun whenever it is super hot to make sure that you do not undergo this kind of extreme body temperature. So all in all, thermoregulation is a basic life process, and any temperature that is outside the range of 37 degrees and 37.8 degrees can impair this bodily function. So make sure that whenever you are in a very hot place, you hydrate yourself enough so that your body does not go into hypothermia, and when you're in a cold place, you keep yourself warm so that your body doesn't go into hypothermia. So make sure you do not stay out too long whenever the weather are extremes. And with that, we have reached the end of this video. If you liked it, do hit the thumbs up and hit the subscribe button for more videos on this channel. And I'll see you in the next one.